imagine you playing short. That's easiest because then you can hear people. That's easy for me to explain it so you understand it. So you run here, and you should know the timing after a while. So you know that when you run X amount of distance here, you will hear them, right? So depending how far you get, and depending how fast you hear them, you know what spawn they have compared to the spawn you have. So the information you have is when you spawn and how far you have run. Which means that if you have the worst spawn and they have the best spawn, they might be already up here. And so that means that when you have a bad spawn, maybe you would want to molly this in case they rush it. Maybe you want to nade it or flash it or smoke it early, right? This is where your decisions comes in. When you notice that you have a bad spawn for B, and maybe even they have eco, that should trigger your thought to think, oh shit, I'm not going to be fast enough to B to hear if they're rushing, so I have to be, I have to react earlier. I have to maybe use a Molotov, even though I maybe I don't have to, but you don't know that. You don't have the information to do that. So from a consistency standpoint, you have the information to know that you will be late to B if they're rushing it. They are eco, so they might do it. I would probably molly it either way, maybe. Depends on the skill for me, my teammates, and my enemy team, right? So by doing that, you're gathering information, and you're doing certain plays off it every time. So that means that every time you have a bad spawn, maybe you want to molly B-apps. But after doing that 20 times, you realize they're never really rushing B. Like, you sort of making yourself a sample size, and then you're trying to figure out the best way to handle it, right? You start the safe way, and then maybe you start the next 5 games, you don't molly. When you get into that situation, when you have a bad spawn, the enemy's on an eco, you don't molly. And then you see, alright, 3 out of 5 times, they just ran through, and I was late, I was caught out of position, alright, I have to molly. So that means that you have learned that spawn with this position, and as you get more and more experience and do this more and more, and think, because that means you're not running around with your head cut off, as you already told me. So that means that every time you play short, and this is where communication comes in as well, because if your enemy is on an eco and you usually play mid and you get thrown into short, and then you're playing with the glass cannon op, or you don't have utility as op, and then you get a bad spawn for B, right? This is when it pisses me off, because you know that you need a Molotov every time you have a bad spawn for B, and holding a B rush with an op is kind of hard, right? So this is where communication comes in as well, because you would never bought an op if you knew you had to come short. You would have had a Molotov, right? So this is where, again, consistency comes in. But if you don't hear anything, for instance, maybe then you need to look at information standpoint, right? Are you gonna push further away from B to mid to help the mid players, or are you gonna stay closer to site to help your B player? And there's your information comes in. So where can you get information? Radar. What is your teammates doing, right? If your B player, for instance, is holding very defensively, letting the terrorist push far up, so if they see him, like, do a contact push, because that is sort of the most effective thing when the CTs give you a lot of map control that you don't really need. Like, compared to holding you on car, right? If they see you on car and they start rushing, the CTs still have a long time to react by throwing mollies, grenades, flashes, what have you. But if he's playing really defensive, far back for instance, or window, when they see him they can jump fast and they already have the sight. That means you need to be closer, right? So that's information. Depending on where your teammate is on B, decides if you should push up short or stay closer to B. And it also depends on the economy of the enemy, the economy of your teammate, your economy, and the skill of your teammate, right? Some people can solo hold B well because they've done it a lot. It all comes down to experience, right? So This is gathering information and making a decision from it. And the other information is, did they smoke window? Have the mid guy if your mid guy is in window watching the mid cross and nobody crossed, that means you have mid control, and your teammate has pushed up in not pushed up in apps but his own car, so you have full apps control. That means you are basically free to do whatever you want. So then you have to decide what you should do to stay effective. It's all about being effective. You like if you're It's like if your opper is holding window, your teammate is pushed up in apps, and you're holding this angle, right? You're not really effective because your teammate has to die like all the way in apps, and they have to run out for you to even be close to be hit, and your opper is holding this angle. So basically you're at a little, what you could do is you could help the guy pushing apps. This is an example. Do you understand the metaphor, how this will translate into other maps? That's important here. I'm not talking about just Mirage Short here. I'm talking about how you can gather information and how you can decide to play around it. So basically, if your teammate is pushing for short control or apps control, you could have joined him, but for that you need information, because if you see him cross here, it's too late for you to run and join him. You have to either help him in other means, or you have to go and take other map control to help him. So what you could have done is, you could have asked the opper to check underpass, and then you can take over mid. And the reason why you don't want to jump down underpass is, if you jump down here, that's a one way. You can't get back up, we all know that. So if your teammate dies in apps, you lost all this map control. But if you ask the opper, which sits in window, to check underpass while you hold mid, and he clears underpass, you can go connector, and you can push up mid, and you can help your guy. Or you can fall back and help him in apps. Or the point is that you want to work together to make map control, to get map control as safe as possible by using your random teammates' information. This mostly makes sense. I feel like I don't react properly to information, or I'm not in the position to acquire. Exactly. And so for you to acquire information, what I usually do on every map is, for instance, if I was new to Mirage and I spawn here, we all know from the beginning of the game that when you spawn here, this is a mid spawn, short, like this is the fastest spawn to this side of the map. So what I usually do, I hold W. So let's say I'm curious about short. I don't really know the callouts, I don't really know anything about short, so what I would do is I would run as fast as possible to short, right? So round starts, I will run, and I will come to as close to this corner as possible. Close to here, close, jump over, like cut every corner and gain as much time as possible, just to learn the timing. Timing is the most important thing on the map, because that will tell you a lot about what map control you will get and the T's will get from the start of the round, because the map control that you get is how far you get until you see an enemy, right? So you rush short up, and then you just rush until you see a teammate, an enemy, and then you try and fight that guy, right? And in time you will learn how far he will get and how far you can get, and you can start, and by doing that you learn how fast you can get information, how fast you can do things, how far you'll get before you start being how can I say this? So you want to always stay relevant in the round, but you don't want to overextend, right? So if you push up short and you just jump out this, you overextend. That's kind of a stupid way of doing it, but the point is there, right? So that means that for you to stay relevant, you need to stay short. But maybe on a different map, they will push up close here, which means that you're already overextended here and you can get peeked and killed easily. So maybe this is the angle you'll have to hold. And this is also a little bit dangerous, right? So that means that when you rush up, you'll see how far you can get before you meet the enemy, obviously, but you will understand the edge of efficiency. You'll understand what is too aggressive, right? And then you will learn what kind of information you get, and then you can, in time, you'll understand, okay, when I get this far, I haven't heard anything B apps, I haven't heard anything underpass, which means that they're either walking or they're not there, right? So how can you understand if they're not there? Maybe if there's 3 mid and 1 in palace, the chance of there being 5 people in B apps is kind of small, right? That means that there are only 1 in B apps, so maybe you would want to fall back and help your teammate kill that 1 guy in B apps. But then you have to think about, if you run here and you run back, the guy that could be B apps will hear you. So you've gathered some information, but you sort of, that's the information you would have had without pushing up short as well. Like, it's very hard to understand how to gather information when you don't know it, I think. I'm not sure. I just don't remember how to do it. Let's just watch your demo, and then I can say what kind of information what you have and what you should have done or shouldn't do. Let me just open my stream. Can you link it in Steam, actually? That would be easiest for me. The yin-yang of trading information with the enemy. Yes, basically. Oh, you already linked it to me. Rip. Yeah, I saw it. Let me see. Desktop. It's a rather long game. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Doesn't matter. I'll probably end the demo when I feel like I've seen it enough. Let me see. That was G. Getting a little blind. What's up, Jogs? Going a little bit deeper than I do in a free demo. Yes. Because this demo ain't free, boy.
What's up, Holmes? AFK.
Alright, let's see. What's happening? But you said pretty much what I feel. I was sort of forced on CT to be the A player, and I feel like I just wasn't doing anything helpful to my team. A player on Cobble Pass. You're talking about the demo right now, right? Alright, that's good. That's good information for me. Is this a pug demo or what? Yes, it is. That's good information for me, but that is on CT side. Any pointers on T side that you have that you want me to watch other than staying relevant and getting information? Alright, so on T side, what I did to learn the map is you start out with spawning, right? You have a decent... Is there a point in analyzing a pug? There is no team playing pugs. I agree with you fully when it comes to proper team play. But there are ways for you to use your teammates in a team setting, not only for baiting. There's a way for you to take map control together effectively without communication. Wishy-washy on my team telling me what to do. Alright, so they told you what to do, that's iffy. You were queued to two people. All right. There's a lot of things you on a as a solo player to take away from a pug. Understanding what's going on around you without any information get into you. You can take map controller randoms, just seeing their position and trying to understand what they're going to do. Gathering information from the enemy team. The enemy team is very is the most you can learn from here. Not your teammates, but it's about yourself and the enemy. So finding out what the enemy is doing, how to counter it, and how to not be punished by it. What should you do? What should the enemy do? And then do the best from that. That's basically all you can do. Because even in a team, communication melts down, man. Even in a team, people tilt and don't call what they're doing. That's normal in any level of CS. Some people just can't communicate when they're concentrated. So this is what I was saying. On Cobble, like I said on Mirage when I was going through Mirage fast, you don't know. That's good that you don't know. I do. So when you come to Cobblestone, you have obviously the spawns as we talked about. You have a decent spawn, not the best spawn, but a decent spawn for an A. So basically that means that if with the best spawn on Cobblestone, if you push up A long, you have to be scared when you cross the last stone here, because that is the initiation point with the CT here. So you always want to look at the door to see if he's peeking. If he has op, be very, very careful. If you notice that the opera is very aggressive peeking, if he wants to peek, number one, you can punish him by trying to pick him, or number two, you need to flash doors when you want to cross, because he will most likely peek it. Like information gain and how to react properly if you want to rush A long. And the nice thing is that if he goes aggressive, like I always peek this, if I go aggressive and I get flashed and they push long, that means that the opera will have to fall back every time he gets flashed in case you push long, right? So what you should do is you should if he goes aggressive, always go down doors and flash, because that gives you this map control for free if the opera plays solo A, right? Because he can't bet on you not pushing with the flash, but he has no information that you're doing it. So one flash will give you all this map control if he is solo A, right? At least you had two people queued up with, so it's better, I guess. Nah, doesn't matter. If you're in a full matchmaking setup, or if you're in a mixed team with friends, it's basically the same. Same outcome, same team play, same nothing of team play. You can still learn the same. There's something different, but in the grand scheme of things, it's basically the same thing. Honestly, I had the best communication. That's good. I feel like my plan on T towards A side of the map wasn't terrible, but the B side always felt iffy to me. I'm not going to discuss this with you, Jocks. We can do it after the demo if you're here. But yeah, so what I would do if I were you is I would have rushed to see how far, like until your effective zone comes in. I can discuss this with you after, Jocks, not now. As I said, I'm not going to discuss this with you now. So basically you want to understand how far the CTs can get here. To get your map control, because with Kizzy spawn, you can easily take this map control with the flash, because he will be right here when CT peaks, but you will be in this area. You will be a little bit further away, so that means that if Kizzy pushes long and the CT peaks and misses his shot for some reason, you can just rush him down. But if he peeks you, he will be able to fall back before you can rush him down, and this is where your decision comes in. That means that if you want to push this, you might as well push it a little slower. so you don't stand out in the open as this guy peeks, because you won't have time to push him down anyways, right? But for Kizzy, pushing in fast might be worth it because he can rush the enemy down in time. This is where spawn comes in. So Kizzy can do something you can't just already from the spawn. And this is why you call a rush or B rush depending on spawn, because some spawns can have more opportunity to do things depending on what the CTs decides to do. So you want to have as high chance of success as possible. So you might as well play a safer angle in case he peeks it with this spawn. And that's the sort of thing you'll figure out by flat out just rushing the same spot over and over again with different spawns. So for me, you see Kizzy stop, that means if he should not push A. He already lost his opportunity to push A because you caught up with him. So now you already lost the initial fight on A long if you want to go that way. And this tells me it's an unexperienced player compared to an experienced player. What I mean with experienced is someone that really knows the map and knows the game. Myself, for instance, I have too much experience, right? So if the call is to push A long, he already screwed up. I hope it's not. I really hope it's not, because if you're not going to push long, it doesn't matter. Then it's doesn't matter. Look at your movement. So you want to be as fast as possible. And you already lost some Jogs, can you keep your comments to yourself? We can talk about this later. As I said, you want to be as effective when moving as possible. So you want to look towards where you go and hold W basically. Yeah, but we're doing it from a consistent standpoint. I'm not trying to, like, what's up, Salvador? So basically, you can't, if you want to improve at this game, if you want, I'm talking from Branson's point of view, if Branson wants to improve at this game, if Branson wants to get better, he needs to gather as much information as he can about the players on his enemy team and then on his teammates team. You don't know if he's drinking. You don't know if he's taking it serious. All you know that is he stopped here for no reason whatsoever. And the only conclusion you can take is that he's inexperienced. Because if he doesn't take it serious, that is the same as being inexperienced. It just means that he has a certain level of game. I don't know if his mom died, if he's drinking, if he's doing drugs, if he's trying to kill himself while he's playing. All I know is that he's not playing the way he does, and I'm going to call that inexperience. What word I'm using doesn't matter. What it means, what it boils down to, that's what matters. So by seeing him doing that, that is information that you get that Kizzy doesn't have the most experience in the game. You can't depend on him. Just by doing that, just by that is enough. I said that I'm so as you see, when you move up here, you sort of just look this way. It works. I'm just gonna ignore you, man. I don't know why you jump, but like, this turns down your consistency, right? Because how many rounds do you do this? You want to do the same thing over and over again so you can get a benchmark, a standard of what will happen in a certain situation. Right? How many times do you do that? Do you do that every time exactly like that, right? So what you would want to do if you want to hold this angle, that you want to run directly to this tree as fast as possible, because that will tell you how fast the CT will push, right? Because if you're playing against an experienced player, you will already be out of position and the player might already have pushed through the doors. He wouldn't have. But since you don't know, he could have. Right? So if you go fast to this tree 100 times and there's no CT pushing past you without seeing it, flanking your teammates, killing your whole team, you know that this is the safe angle. I know that this is the safe angle, right? When you get to this stone, you and the CT, when you get to the stone, the CT comes to the door. I know that because I've passed this stone 1,000 times, and every time I pass this stone, the longest the CT have come is to this door. So unless he's doing some crazy bunny hops in the slope or something like that, I know that when I'm got to this stone, there's no CT that could have pushed out yet. And by doing these weird jumps, you will never know the timing on the map, because it will always change. Some jumps you will hit, some jumps you won't. The CT have different spawn, like you have no bench line to go off. Wow, you got that kill. That is sick. That's a good kill. He screwed up. He should have gotten you. Okay, so the information you have is that you kill this guy. This guy might have a teammate with him, right? So you need to be ready for his teammate to peek and trade, or peek to get information. Maybe to get a cheeky kill. You have a teammate holding the door, so his teammate won't come trading out of the door without you getting a notification by your teammate. Calling, shooting, dying, whatever, right? So you need to be ready to get peeked from here. With a flash, chances of being more than one guy is very, very low. But you need to be ready for it. And you're not ready at all. Alright, Salvador, catch you later, brother man. How did you 1v1 go? Right? All this time, you watched the ground, you picked up a pistol, and now you're reloading. And you would have died if someone peeked. Right? And again, here, you're crossing the door. 1330 against a wall hacker in a 1v1. Lol. Right? This stone is, you remember I told you, you're crossing here. There could be a guy down in waters who could kill you. Right? But you're not even watching it. Now you're checking it. So that is 10, 15 seconds. And goodbye, Salvador. We agreed he would hack. Alright. Right? That's 10, 15 seconds. You're not checking these angles. And now suddenly you're scared of them? That pre-aim is decent. Alright, so when you enter this, there's a bigger chance there's someone behind that door than someone walking out here exactly when you walk out. So you didn't check behind the door. So what I would do is I would probably jiggle peek this angle here to see if someone's there. Nobody there, and then check the door, and then I would hold this angle. Pre-aim is a little bit off, but it's fine. When you're walking into the angles, I would prefer if you jiggle peek them. Like not hold shift and just used A and D to peek wider and wider. Because if you see someone here, you have to let go of shift. Compared to just holding down a button some more. Like, yeah. You can still do it by being quiet, but you're faster. That's a nice kill. Lack of presence of mind seems to be main consideration. Could be. Either that or you're drinking or just chilling or you're inexperienced. But yeah, probably lack of presence of mind. That's the only thing we can conclude from this.
Terrorists win.
So what you did was first kill you got lucky from A long. To be honest. You could have played that completely different. Let me... Do I have something to write with? I'm just gonna write down what I can show you. I'll show you that. Just write it to you. And walking up here is fine, but everything up to that point is sort of iffy. Because the chance of being more people than one rotating off A is low. They would probably have one door and one on site. So walking up there is okay. Good aim, getting the kill. Your aim saved you that round. Wasted time and movement and not checking for information. Not checking if someone could trade you, not checking if someone could, yeah. Again, this jump, Alright, that's good. I don't know if he called it or if he saw it on the radar, but that's good. You just fully trust that danger is clear. That's good. You know they're on a 4, so I hope you will check the right corner here. But you don't. What do you... Like, you see the difference? You're just looking at this angle. You're not checking it, so if someone's there, you're gonna be surprised. Because your crosshair placement is sort of just that away. Same here. Could it be someone inside wood? I don't know if you know 3 people died here or how many died. The jumping is just something you do. So, when you have cleared A, your vision should go straight up to the map to see what is clear, what is my teammates cleared, what haven't they cleared. So, in the time you get here, you know that your teammate is going in window here and checking this. You could already have died from it, but most likely your teammate would have died first. That's your information. This is probably, nobody's probably not watching behind you. And one of your teammates will die first, information. You have a teammate on site, which means that the site is probably clear. Your teammate have pushed long or drop, right? So that means they could be long or they could be drop. They did one or the other, because I'm expecting you not watching this as you push up A. So either your enemy is on long, in drop, pushed up long, right? Or in here. So you already ran past this angle, so you concluded they're not here. But that means that he could be dropped, which you are pushing with a knife. That's information you have. But nobody called it to you, nobody said it to you, but that is information you would have to look for yourself. And you will die for not doing it. Never mind, you didn't shoot. But you should have died, right? And you're just running around with your knife. That is information you could have had, you had time to get it, and it was there. Oh, I was gonna move away from the flash. Lol. I would like you to watch the smoke here. Instead of watching the same angle as both of your teammates, just look at the smoke in case someone's pushing it. Your teammates oh, you have teammates behind you. It's like... Yeah, until this point, I would like you to watch the smoke. The second you hear the shot, you can turn. It's actually thinking while you play. Yeah, that's a big issue from a lot of players. Just instinct without the experience. That's the difference. Like, the difference between I like this quote here, and that is the difference between animals and people, human beings, is that animals react, humans think. Right? So, if a lion sees something run, his instinct is to hunt it, to run after it, right? Obviously. But as a human, we will think and try and figure out why is it running, what should we do, is there anything we should do about it, right? So, you want to think before reacting. And you already want to have foreseen the situation so you know what you can do. Right? So you should watch the smoke, and the second you hear a shot, you want to turn to help. But you go into trade. That's good. Take the AK, that's good. You're 3 people running up here, this is fine. So, you know you're against fully pistols, most likely. So you want to keep moving. So you have the stronger gun, and he has a pistol. So he keeps moving, and you're sitting down. A sitting target is a lot easier to hit. And you have 3 teammates, so you don't have to commit to get the kill. All you have to do is make sure you don't die. Because you don't want to die with an AK versus USPSs. So the best way to not die is to not sit still, is to keep moving. So this is where tapping would have been more efficient, or just moving away. Like, even moving and shooting is almost better. I sometimes do that, just to throw them off. It's a little bit special technique. I'll just show it to you. Because you don't want to die. You don't want to lose an AK and full armor versus a pistol that's $3,700 that you will lose by him not spending anything. I'll show it after the demo, what I mean. Because you have 2 other teammates, and this CT was aiming at you. Well, he got dinked, he almost died. So you have 14 HP here. You want to just hide. You don't want to die. And from a pistol, you'll die for 1 shot, right? So you should just play safe. Make sure you won't die. Not shoot through smoke with 14 HP. Well, he almost died, Jocks. Exactly, Branson. You're getting it. You're getting it. So for you guys watching this after, I don't know if you have chat up, but basically what Branson said is that he had 2 teammates. There were 3 people all shooting at him. So Branson doesn't have to commit to the kill. He has to commit to not die. Jocks, you're one of those people that say that, alright, I did this stupid play, I got an ace, so it's the right play. You couldn't be more wrong, alright? You couldn't be more wrong. Your opinion of the game makes it so you won't improve as good or as much, in my opinion. But some people play the game differently. You saying always spray the no armored guy? You couldn't have been more wrong. There is no rule in CS that says if this happens, you do this. It all depends on the situation. Exactly. Exactly, Branson. But in Jocks, we play the game completely different. I don't know what you're doing here. Listening for a boost, maybe? Because it's not about killing him. It's about staying alive. Your job is not to kill everyone. Sometimes your job is to stay alive. I'm not wrong. You're wrong. I'm 100% sure that you're wrong here. Draw play is bad. Don't bully. You couldn't have been more wrong, Jocks. Explain to me why. Alright? Explain to me why I'm wrong. No, explain to me why it's wrong. I can explain to you why I'm right. Explain to me why I'm wrong. You're sort of jumping into the angle. That's why. So basically, you're pre-aiming this, but you can die from this whole area. Alright? So you're just over-peeking this. You're not doing it like you're peeking into so many angles. But yeah, drop. I hate playing drop myself. I feel like I always die there. We can talk about it after your game. If you want, Jocks, but you're wrong, and I can explain to you why. And I'll change my mind if you can explain to me why I'm wrong and you're right. If you can make it make sense, sure, I'll change my mind. But I'm 100% sure, so. But I'm open-minded. I can change my mind if you have valid points. So in a 5 versus 3 here, and you sit down and wants to engage with this guy, you have a teammate here, but that just gives him an opportunity to get 2 kills. You want to play after plant. You want to force this CT to push into multiple angles. You don't think I'm open-minded? I'm just 100% sure of what I'm saying, Jocks. You're coming with an opinion without telling me why. You have that I'm always right attitude? No, but I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. I've been doing this for a lot of years. I've thought of a lot of situation. No, if you can explain to me. Yeah, but you shouldn't have been here at all. You shouldn't have been there at all. If you can explain to me why you're right. I'm not arrogant. I'm confident. I'm confident. Because I've thought of it a lot. That's the thing, Jocks. And he ends up getting 2 kills here. Because he peeked. I've told you. There's 3 enemies versus 1. Yeah, I already did. You have to... The way I'm saying it is a bit rough. Well, because you're not explaining yourself. I'm telling you how it is because honestly I know. right? And you're saying you should always spray an unarmored opponent. What if 4 people pushes that smoke and you're sitting there spraying? You're gonna die, right? If you have the only AK on the team and you die, then don't talk. I'm sorry, but if you don't know what happened, you shouldn't talk. I'm sorry, but that's the way it should be. You can't just jump into a conversation without having the information. That's like putting it all out of context. But saying that you should always spray an unarmored opponent is wrong. Well, he just picked it up from a dead teammate. You don't have the information, Jocks. You don't have the information, Jocks. There's no point talking about this then. You're taking the whole situation out of context, and that's when you're wrong. In that situation. Exactly. You just want to argue. I don't care when you joined. So, you have a teammate firing at this guy and your teammate is sitting down. Well, then you don't have... Then you're not... Then you shouldn't have an opinion. Because... If you want to know, then watch. I cannot go back and forth, then this is going to take the whole day. If you want to argue and understand why I'm saying what I'm saying, then you need to be watching. Alright? I'm going to end it at that. So, if you want to have opinions and discuss things, you need to be present. I can't go back 2 rounds for you. I need to rewatch this round. No, I'm saying doing it... No, that's not what I said. You need to listen. I said, always spraying a non-armored guy is wrong. To have that mindset that to always do it is wrong. Sometimes, yeah, sure. But always, no. Alright. So, here's the information you have. Well, I can't just forget the always part, that's what you said. So, you have information that there's someone in pizza area. You didn't really hear anyone drop, but they could have come there before you got here. And this is the reason why. This is the reason why. Because you were jumping around in spawn, it didn't have the best spawn. You were jumping it around, and that means that you're not as fast in this area as you could have been. So that means that they could have gone into drop before you heard it. Might not be sure that you heard it anyways, but you would have had a bigger chance to hear them go into spawn, go into drop, if you were there earlier, right? And you would have been closer to your teammates as they're rushing. You would want to be in front of this opper. As I said, Jogs, if you want to discuss and be a part of this review, you need to be here. You can't just come jumping in. Alright, so you have a teammate fighting this, and an opper holding this angle. Honestly, I would jump down. So basically here, what you're doing is you're 3 people, you're blocked by this molly that you saw come in. I don't know who threw it, doesn't matter. But you would want to not clump up here. The issue with jumping down is you're sort of committing to the take on the site, right? So even if you pushed against 5 players on B here, but I didn't see how fast this guy came out, but if he came out fast enough to know that nobody crossed the chicken, and he's pushed out far enough to nobody can push you close in Speedway, you probably should jump down instead of keep blocking your teammates here, because there's no way not to block them. Exactly, Branson. This is scary right here. Moving headshot, doesn't matter. Alright? But you checked it. You saw that you checked it. You could have killed that guy from further away and be more covered from Speedway. This is scary. Right? Because if your teammate dies here, you're the next contact and you have your bomb out. Make sure the site is clear first. You have nobody running up Speedway. This is, you two are the only 2 guys. You have 2 guys just jerking each other off in the back of the site. But he gets to kill. So it works out, but if he died, he could have swung on you and killed you too, and it would be a 3v3. And the bomb would have been down. And then you jump here, right? Nobody has checked this angle, and you just jump into it. There could be 3 people here. It was an anti-eco. Yeah, but you could have died from his Zeus. I mean, you could have died from his Swag 7. CZ. Right? What's up, Gilly? What's up, brother man? How you doing? Let's not watch that anymore. Alright. So, spawn-wise, yeah, you're looking at what your teammate's buying. It's fine. But make it as a rule to... instead of looking at what your teammates are buying, you should make it as a rule to check your spawn, check your economy, check the CT's economy, and figure out what you should do. If an enemy doesn't ask for a drop, sucks to be him. It's not your job to check if your teammates need a drop. It's their job to ask for it. Alright? Because then you can understand what you should do. If a enemy or a teammate asks for a drop by me when it's 2 or 3 seconds left, they don't get it. Because I'm set on leaving spawn as fast as possible to get where I need to be, to get as much information as possible. Maybe to catch a CT off that don't expect me to be there. Maybe get the drop information in the round earlier. You know, these things is things that is more important to do than to check what your teammates have. Yes, it's nice if all of them have a gun, but it's their responsibility. You sort of can't play the game for everyone, if that makes sense. Because now you left spawn late, this guy's catching up to you, which you had a better spawn. You have your AK out instead of your knife, right? So, this guy had a worse spawn than you, but he's ahead of you. So you could have been here already. So depending on the map, depending on what happens, a CT could have crossed without you seeing it, without this guy seeing it, but if you were further ahead, you could have seen the CT cross. Not on this map, but on a different map. Different area, different timing, etc. Having a knife out there and jumping is fine. If that makes you relax, it's fine. You have a teammate here. So your teammate can die without you being able to trade, and there's no way he would have pushed into your angle. But this teammate, on the other hand, is peeking into 3 different angles, and he has no one to trade him because you're looking into the sky. Right? Now you're late. You could have been ahead of him if you wanted to. Don't push the smoke. Please. Please. I don't like it though. Yeah, there could have been a guy there. This angle is sexy though. That sucks. Hope you call that to your teammate. Oh. Yeah, man. Alright. So, at this point, you should understand it's a force buy. Right? Your teammate has left B, and you have made a lot of noise on A. So you have 2 choices. You can fake A, or you can try and leave A without them seeing you leave it. If they see you leave it, they will rotate back to B. You had no clue how to go past you, now you know. So, since you're so deep into A, you might as well try and do a little bit of both, right? You want to walk backwards and try and get a kill, right? Your first objective is to get out of A without anyone seeing you, but if someone sees you, kill the guy. And if someone sees you, you push forward. But you decide to push forward here. This is scary right here. If you die and lose your AK, the round should be over. You should. But you're faking A here. And again, I feel like maybe it's the skill that you're at, but if I were to commit to this guy, I would most likely be dead because this guy would have peeked me and 1D'd me. Right? So stopping fully here and not fighting him in a way that has more movement, that makes you take less damage. Like, understand why are you here? Are you here to get the most kills as possible? Are you here to survive, or are you here to fake A? What is your reason here, right? If you're here to fake A, you don't need to get as many kills as possible. All you need is to make enough of a disturbance so your teammates can get to B. And you're putting yourself in disadvantageous position, yeah. But you can get peeked from here, 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 right? And your teammates are going into A, so your teammates are far behind you. So you're pushing too fast compared to your teammates. Like, getting these kills, it's not worth it. The risk is too great of you dying. Because if you die, they have full A control, your teammates are in ramp and they're stuck. So yes, sure, it's nice you get the kills, but it's not worth it. Your goal was to distract as many as possible to buy time for them. Yeah, but you can do that without dying. You can do that without jumping onto the side, jumping out in the open. Just peeking safely would do it. You see the overextension, that's good. Because then you keep, like, you committed so far that you have nowhere to go, right? You're committed. You have to stay there, and everyone that sees you, you have to kill them or else you die. If you stayed back, you could have gone back to B. If they plant the bomb, you could have played a lurk role, right? Instead of just jumping in and potentially dying. Especially when you have all the weapons in the world. Alright. You have sort of done enough. You rely on the kills you get? Yeah. But that will only work at a set skill level, right? At some point, you'll get to an area that has a higher skill than you, and then you'll just get punished hard. And that's why you're stuck in a rank, for instance. Because you keep doing... Against the worst skill, you'll rape them, but the second they get a little bit better, they'll rape you. Because of the mistakes you're doing, right? Alright, so you should know that they're on eco. But pre-aim should be here as you I feel like you're moving your mouse a little bit too much. I don't know. You're a little bit tunnel vision here. There's a lot of angles you're walking into that's not cleared where people can peek out from. So you're not used to enemies having crossfires and enemies playing together, right? Because you're very tunnel visioned on this killing this guy. But it's better to execute a bad plan poorly than have a bad plan and execute it. No, it's better to execute a poor plan good than a good plan poor. That's what I'm trying to say. So if everyone is at the same level, sure. Right, this guy should have peeked. If this guy peeked, he would have killed 2 players. And he would have had full B control and probably could have peeked with a weapon to kill the bomb, right? But he doesn't know he should do that, and you're not used to him doing that. Oh no. That's a good Molotov. That's a good Molotov. As long as you're confident in getting that kill every time, it's fine that you hold that angle. But please, don't re-peek. Don't re-peek this. Just don't. Just let your teammate be the next point of aggression here. You shouldn't do this. Force him into run into both of your teammates, you and your teammate. Force him to look for you. Don't let him find you. If he can't see you, if he doesn't know where you are, he can't kill you. And that's more important, especially in an after plant. You don't want to give him the opportunity to do the 1v1s. That jump screwed you over there. But keeping rushing B is okay. It's always bad to hold an angle like that. There's always actually works. It doesn't matter if you Kenny S, doesn't matter if you're Fallen or Coldzera or Simple. The chance of him pre-firing you is there. If you're not there, no. Yes. If you're not there, he can't kill you. You can't give him a 1v1. You want him to walk into a crossfire every time. Always. The first time, it's fine, but when they know you're there, no. They're just gonna pre-fire you at a higher level. Then you dead. Well, did you watch it this time? No, you shouldn't have re-peeked it anyways. Bit risky? It's on the edge of stupid. So what made you decide to suddenly rush A? Should have just played with his teammate. Yes, there is a big reason not to hold the angle. Because you want to play the after plant. Alright? Why do you have to kill him? You have full control on where he is. You have a teammate in electric. It's not that bad. It's the right call every time. You should not peek and hold that angle. Even in the 2v2, he shouldn't have done it. Especially when they know he's there. It's not about playing scared, it's about playing smart. Your teammates kept complaining. Well, that means that they're stupid. It's 9-1. You're doing something right. Why changing up? Right? If like letting them die, they're just running out like you did now. That's what they're doing. But they. Okay, so that's what decided you to do that. You played fairly well this game. Like, I don't know why they would say anything else. But yeah, this is just much more comfortable second entry, yeah. Because you know how to do that. You don't know how to entry, probably. Or not that well. Wow. Wow. You're open to a lot of angles here. Alright, so you're solo towards A. Let's see how you hold it. And you see, if you didn't jump around here, you could have gotten this kill. Right? And this is where you see, you could have been at stone by now and crossed at the same time as he does, but because you're not moving the way you should, you lose out on information. If he peeked you with an op here, for instance, you'd be dead. And peeking this angle with an op is very, very common. And your flash is just late, right? This is where consistency comes in. But he hasn't an op. Fuck you, Nick. How you doing, brother man? I would suggest you to do the other way. Hold this angle and then peek this sometimes. Because he could walk all the way up now. But he will take a long time to walk all the way around. Going out with friends in 20 minutes? Aight. Nice. Right? You could have been dead now. He could have been there. So I would suggest do the other way. Because that opportunity where you can see him is a lot smaller through the window than on a long. $2 billion, yeah, I know, right? Beast computer. Very hard to have a lot of FPS with with a frame. Mine is 2 billion. And why are you turning away from this angle? Just walk, like you never walk while holding S. You barely walk backwards. Why you keep turning away from the angle? It doesn't make sense. There you go. It's like you don't trust your teammate to shoot if you get someone on his screen. Yeah, this is a good decision you're doing here. So you think there's someone window, you're in a 4v1, and you end up doing aggression here. He wants to make a sick flick, yeah. So this is good. You're pushing to get out of this angle. So this is a good call. But you should expect that there's a guy in window now. And yes, you do. That's a good kill. Alright, so now you have to stop and take a breather. What kind of information have you gotten? Did you watch the radar as you were in drop and stuff like that? So if you didn't watch anything, which I expect you didn't, that is the good call as well, Branchin. So, alright, so what information do you have? You killed 2 in electric, 1 coming from connector. That means you killed 2 from B, maybe 1 more from B, or 1 from A, right? So this is where you have to make a decision. Did you kill another one from B, or did you kill 1 from A? So here you sort of have to do a little dance in your head, right? What's the chance here? And that all depends on what happened earlier in the round. Did you guys have any presence on A? Did you guys kill anyone on A? Who died somewhere, right? I'll probably say I have 80% of your vision on your crosshair. Yeah, exactly. So this is where clutching is an art. To use all the information that you gathered previously in the round to figure out what you should do. Yeah, exactly. So let's go back and see what information could you have gotten. Where could you have picked up information? You don't even look at the crosshair, huh? Why does it always go back to this guy? Alright, let's see what information you could have gotten to that point. Then we can see if we can make a calculated decision. So, you get blocked by your teammate and your spawn is not as great as it should have been. Or that it could have been. And you're running around and jumping, right? So, you're already making a bad spawn worse. Right? Because you want to see if someone crosses here. You want to see if, what's happening over there. Right? So you're used to it was so winnable. Let's see. I don't care if you win it or not. I want to see if you make the right decision. So you know there's one guy crossed to A, right? And then you're holding it. This is good information in the clutch, right? You've spent a lot of time on A, so you know that they're most likely, after all this gunfire and all these people dying, 2 people dying, it's 50 seconds into the round, they still haven't rotated through Snake or Dragonlore or Yard or whatever you want to call it. I don't care if you win $1 million, only that you know what you're doing. Exactly. So this is good information that you have. The chance of them rotating that way is very low, right? So people coming behind you, you can scratch that off your list, right? Especially when you get into your clutch, you scratch that off your list because the chance is fairly low and you gain a lot by no one being there. So taking that risk that nobody's there is worth it at that time. We're talking about what information he should gather to do this clutch, right? So your guy is shooting in window. This is again good information because this means if he shoots in the window, a guy from B might push into the window, right? So that's pulling towards that it could be a B guy that you're killing from window. That's all we want to figure out here. Alright, so as you drop here, you need to have gathered as much information. This is a lot of free time that you had that you should have just watched the radar. So you should know that you have a teammate here, you should know that you have a teammate in Speedway, and that your teammate is in Electric. This is a very winnable round for you. Why is the demo 64 tick? I don't know. Right? So you're holding the window because there has been something going on there. And then both your teammates die. So both die from one enemy. So this is where I didn't check it because I didn't play it. But if you played it, it would have been very important to hear how many people were shooting. Because if this guy was shooting, you would know that there were two guys here. And then you hear the stepping in connector. So you hear the rotation from A, right? You hear the rotation running past you. And you hear there's a guy in electric. And this is where you realize you're screwed. As he peeks. So you decide you're gonna push for information. You know one guy has run from A. Right? So you know there's a guy running from A, and you know there's a guy in one window. So you kill the guy rotating from A, you kill the guy in electric, and you kill the guy window. So that is 2 people from A and 2 people from A and 1 guy from B. What are the odds there's 1 more guy on A? Basically 0, right? What are the odds that he flanked around? 0. So you know this is clear. You know A is clear. So this guy could have pushed up, or he could be on the B site. That's the information you have in this clutch. Plus the Ishri guy killed 2 people. Yeah, you could have watched that, but the chance of you grabbing that information is kinda low. So the information that you have is that he's on the B side of the B area of the map. Yeah, I noticed that, but I don't think that's information you should have. Honestly, I don't think that. If you can gather that detailed information, credits to you. So the bomb is in Speedway, and the enemy is on this side. So you probably know that he's holding the bomb somehow. Alright? So you have 18 HP. He took this. I feel like you should have gone door and gotten to the stone and worked your way around the plat. Right? Because it's a big risk walking out the door, but as you exit the door, you can play around the stone, which means that he needs to headshot you, so it doesn't matter if you're low HP. When you work all the angles around the stone, it's fairly safe to go to B, except this angle at the corner, right? So then you have, again, a headshot position if he's holding chicken, or if he's holding, right? So going to this angle with low HP is very scary already. So you already made a mistake, in my opinion. I would probably have gone to the stone. Because A is clear, and then he might be on B. So the biggest risk is to exit here, in this whole area that you are now, or just the door. That's the 2 things you have. You got this. Right? So you check the door, and you get to the position I wanted to be in. It's a little bit more risky than I would like, but it's a 1v1 after a 1v4. People tend to panic a little bit, and here you do the biggest mistake of your life. Right here. You jump on top of this ledge. You want to play around this. I know it's low time. Yeah, this is just clunky from you. Which is why you threw the molly. Yeah, but this is just clunky for you. You decided that he was long, and then, yeah. Yeah, this was very winnable for you. But you panicked when you saw the time, and you saw where the bomb was. How could this happen to me? Yeah. So when you see the time is that low, you should rather. No, you shouldn't be mad. It's hard to stay calm in this situation after being in a 4v1, and the time is so low. So you should have decided, should you go for the bomb or should you go for the kill? And that decision you have to make before you jump into the site. Like, jumping into the site here is pointless. You're just out in the open for no reason, right? All you need to do is clear this angle and be a little bit lucky with your timing here. So if you molly this, so he can't peek this angle, you can hold this while you grab the bomb, right? Instead of just automod and screwed you over. I'll accept it. So you sort of panicked and you just threw your molly, just throw it. It wasn't really useful at all. Frag or the plant. Yeah, exactly. You should probably gone for the frag the second you jumped into the site. But yeah, you made the right decision by going aggressive, but you forgot about the information you had and your HP. You just didn't do anything. Exactly. You see how much faster this guy is to the door than you? That's a bad smoke. There, you check the door. That's interesting. Pushing that smoke. I mean, all you have is Deagle. I guess it's fine. I like that. You don't panic when you get shot from behind. You go for that kill. That's good. I like that. And then your teammate can trade. Oh, get it off. Yeah. That was good. I don't know if you didn't realize that you got shot at, but going for the kill is good. So now you have the best spawn for A. Alright. I want to show you something. So, you have the best spawn for A and probably the worst spawn for B. Right? You remember how I told you that you need to be as fast as possible? Right? I knew I hit him once and I knew I was getting shot, so I went for the kill. Yeah. That's good. That's good. That's perfect. So, you remember I told you that you need to be as effective out of spawn as possible if you want to rush, right? So, you have the worst spawn for B. Look how fast you're at B compared to your teammates. Look at that. Look at that. You're second. That's a lot of teammates that's not moving fast enough. And he is still rushing, which means he is inexperienced. Doesn't matter what he's doing. He is inexperienced as inexperience goes. He doesn't understand when to rush B and when not to. All he does is just rush B, hold W, and hope that you guys trade him. And round over. Do you play solo A? Alright, alright. This is gonna... He did this almost every round? Yeah. Doing it every round, he should know what he's doing at some point. Here's where I think the real problem started. Alright. So, I hate... Yeah, that is iffy doing that when you're not used to it. I hate peeking this at any point because you're at such disadvantage here. Peeking this angle, especially solo on pistol round, because if they rush A, you're gonna either get sandwiched 99% of the time, and the rest of the time, you're just going to give up full A control, and you have to play behind them. But since they get an A for free, they know you're there. So it's sort of a... You either have to get 3 kills here, or it's just not worth it. Right? They could have walked up A now. Yeah, I don't like pushing it long. That's scary. Yeah, this is where inexperience comes in. You get the kill and now you're just gonna get run down. What? You shouldn't have gotten that.
Vilken jag varit
Yeah, that was just insane. That was just insane. You have 3 HP in the bomb. You should not have gotten those 2 kills. Not, like, at all. Just to show them that you have a pistol instead of a USB. I like that. This is fine. They're probably on a full eco anyways, or force. Like, if you're gonna solo A, you sort of, if you lose B, then you sort of screwed. You probably could have had information for him to push past by watching the radar, but it's fine. So you're basically useless here. You should have held this angle instead. To be closer to your teammate. Because now they can walk up and they can sandwich your teammate. Like, there's nothing useful you can do here without your teammate basically dying first. But this is where inexperience from not playing A, right? Yeah, this is gonna hurt to watch. So, if you played close here, right, with your teammate, and when your teammate pushed, you went down to danger, for instance, you know the map, right? That means you have control over this with sound and this with vision. So, you could have held this angle, like held up here as your teammate pushed, and when he died, you could have walked back and held this map control. So the reason why you died here is because you gave up all this map control for free by having only one teammate there. So see where your teammate is holding? He's holding this angle here. Wow. And now you see that your teammate is rotating off. You need to clear this as soon as possible. He moved off a little bit too soon. Because now someone can walk up. So you should peek this, see the guy, and fall back. But you commit into an angle, a fight with an AK with full armor, and all you have is P250. This is a fight you shouldn't win. But again, as I said, you're letting your aim take all the fights, basically. Not all the fights, but yeah, you look at yeah. I don't remember what you said. Walking into this angle again. I feel like you're walking too much into the angle. I'll show you. Walking here is fine though. There's too many angles to check anyway. You just have to bet that there's nobody's watching you. That's really unlucky. But you're staying in this area for too long, but that's where experience comes in. You sort of get crushed. Yeah, this is tough to review because I can tell you all things that you should have done, you shouldn't have done, but the only reason for you to know that is with experience, right? You don't have the experience or the knowledge to be able to make those decisions. But this is the best position you've had so far. It's fairly safe, and you're keeping some sort of control. I don't like this though. Like, you're holding one angle, they could walk up here, they could walk up ramp. Right? You're just betting that you will have some information in one angle. This is not good. Just playing one angle out of all these. And then you clunk with your movement and you drop down and you die because of it. But yeah, you want to keep as much map control as safe as possible. This is fine. Your teammate got the pick, and the second he left, you cleared this. This is good. This is a good rotation. Good and fast rotation. Walk, 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 walk. Hitting. Yeah, this is a little bit hard to watch. And again, your teammate is up here. You could have held danger. You could have held long to help him keep map control. But you're basically playing two solo players on A. He has to die first, and then you will die after. You never said you left, by the way. Welcome back. That was good. That was good. Just left to restart your router. Alright. Wi-Fi cut out. Alright. Welcome back, brother man. Yeah, this is a little bit of a What's up, Grandma? What's up, brother man? What rank is Branston? MG DMG. If you look at your radar here, you can see that your enemies have taken full control here. And this should decide if you should peek this or not. Because you need to look at the impact that it has if you die. Right? Because if you die here and they take drop control, right? You basically lost a round because they have full long control and they basically have the whole site if they want to. So it's very, very important that you don't die. So peeking this is something you shouldn't do. And you peek and die. Or he misses and you kill him. Again, your aim saves you. As it has a few times this round. But at least you keep control over drop. And you win the round. Your router cut out too? Stream is killing routers, chat. DMG. MG, DMG. His aim is on point though. DMG LE. That's good. It's good that you stay. You have a good position. So, and you see the bomb in your trade. OG Grandma. Thanks a lot for the follow, brother man. I appreciate it.
So perfect time on rotation. So your teammate pushed out here, right? And that should tell you that the only way you could die now is if there's a guy far down here. So this is the perfect time for you to push out the smoke. You should have pushed out. So you pushed out when your teammate died, so Static here had the chance to change his crosshair placement or be ready for you. But you got the kill anyways. And you're out fragging everyone. And the least amount of deaths almost. But yeah, seat decide on A, you just need more experience. And then he peeks. Don't be worried with the electric. You see that this review is nice? Thanks, man. I appreciate it. So basically this review is for... yeah, to help branch and improve, basically. But yeah, you should... Alright, so this is where I'm at, right? You have 2 teammates in drop. And you keep looking towards drop. Even if they can't hit anything, they will die before they can get to you. Right? You keep watching it. That means your mind is somewhere else than what you need to do. It's a 5v4, so there could be 5 people here waiting to push you. There's no way you can hold the 5 people pushing you from this angle. You have full utility. So I would probably have peeked it, threw a grenade, and then thrown a smoke. And the reason why is, as you throw the grenade and throw the smoke, you want to push and get the stairs control. That risk is worth it because you're already down a guy. So if you get this control and you have drop control, one guy can actually start rotating towards A. At least get closer to A. So by you getting this map control, seeing that this is clear, the chance of them pushing down drop is lower, which means that one of your teammates can start rotating to A because this is clear. You actually never trust your teammates. Yeah, but it's okay that you don't trust your teammates, but just look at your radar instead. You'll see someone is there. There's a good amount of times they somehow let someone through. Yeah, but there's a bigger, like, the chance of you dying because you don't trust your teammates is bigger than a teammate somehow letting someone through, right? So it's more important that you make sure you do your job and you hope that they will somehow not let someone through, right? If that makes sense. That happens a few times compared to you always being scared of them doing it. Right? So you will never be able to focus on this angle often enough. Never. Compared to sometimes maybe they will put someone through. So it's better if you just concentrate on your job here. Because 5 people could have walked out already. 5 people could be here looking at you. And if you're scared of this, that's an even bigger incentive to try and get control over this. Especially when they're starting shooting on A. So your teammate lost A fully, and all you gotta do is rotate and retake. It's a 3v5. I have a feeling we're gonna see some branch and magic. Oh, you're just saving? Alright. That's actually a good call at this point. Scary though. Are you gonna win the next 2 rounds? Looks like it. Looks like it. Nobody wanted to boost you? Feels bad, man. This is good. So you see that your teammate is up on stairs, right? What? You see that the teammate is up on stairs, so you turn your back fully to help the guy in electric that might need your help, right? So that's good. And the second they engage, you just get that frag. It's good. And you get the last frag as well. Wow, that he should have killed you. You wanted him behind the smoke. Yeah, I understand that. There you go. You feel very comfortable in this position? Or what? Is that why you keep holding it? I hate this angle. Again, your teammate pushed out. That means that this is most likely clear. Right? So if you just watch the radar here and see your teammate push out, you know you could have pushed out the smoke, pushed down the ramp, and then have full control over the site from the ramp angle. You feel like you can fuck up and not die, alright. So long as you have some control. Alright, so by watching your teammate push that smoke, it's not that risky for you. Still have someone to go. Ooh. Your aim saves you. Alright. I think we have enough. Yep. Alright. After first OTS, switch back to holding A. You feel like you're worse in OT. The thing is that it's harder when your enemy has full it's harder when your enemy has full buy. That's why it went worse, right? Because they have AKs, op, and auto snipers and all they want, right? So that's why it feels harder, because it is. The economy is out of the point, and that means they have all the utility they want. They can do whatever they want. So let's see, what did I write to you? Hold cobble, A, long, and mid. Alright, so this is probably the pistol round, and you did it and you did it when a round later. So you were holding this angle. That means that this guy, right? When you walk out here, you check that, you check this, and then you walk out, and then you're dead. Right? So how can you prevent that? By not standing in his crosshair. You remember I said that in the beginning of this review? You never want to stand in the crosshair of your enemy, because any enemy with any skill can press mouse 1, right? So if you hold this angle, right, so that means if they're walking out, you will never check stone at this angle here. So if he walks by, you can just take your time and shoot, right? Or you can just peek and then kill him. And then you just peek this angle once in a while. So I'm using this wall as a reference, so I know that my crosshair is on point, right? So when I peek this, worst case for me is that he's looking at me. Worst case. But then I have peeker's advantage because I know I'm gonna peek, but he has to react. So all I have to do is just tap. Right? So that's the worst case. All I have to do is tap. If my crosshair placement and pre-aim is on point. So worst case, I have to tap. Best case, he's pushed out like here and checking these angles. Which means it's an easy kill for me. I peek out and he's here and I can just tap him, right? Next thing, he might be holding this angle or checking this angle so he can see me in his peripheral vision, right? But then again, he has to flick to me and all I have to do is just do that. And if I miss a shot or whiff or something, I can just hide by the stone and play around the stone while he is out in the open. Alright, Grandma, go to bed, brother, man. 6 a.m. Holy crap. It's like... It's 12 here. 12 at daytime. Thanks, Grandma. I'm not really much into CSGO anymore, but you can just come on and take a chat and we can talk about it. I play some CSGO, not a lot. For reasons. You can ask if you come back, brother, man. You sleep tight. Right, so... You're holding this angle, so the only thing that can happen is they can walk up on the staircase, but then, right, you have the advantage of, again, playing around the stone when they have no cover in the open here. And you're holding this angle, which means that if they walk up here, like, you won't walk up and holding this. So I love these angles where you hold everything and then you can just peek into other angles and play around a lot of cover. I think my aim isn't terrible because I force myself to get good at it because I'm putting myself in a situation where it's on my only way out. Yeah, exactly. But my aim isn't... Well, my aim is shit, honestly. But compared to others, it's kind of good. So, but imagine having your aim where you can play around this stone. Where you can control the fights. Right? All he can see is your head, you can see his whole body. Imagine doing this with an AK. Right? So if 5 people push A, all you have to do is you can decide if you want to initiate the fight or if you just want to call. Right? They can't see you, they don't know you're here. And nobody will check this. Sometimes they will check it, but you know, most of the time. And if they start checking that, you can play, I don't know. Yeah, this angle is a little bit shitty, but sometimes I play this angle. Right? And just peek it like something like that. It's a little bit more iffy, but oh wow, I'm not warmed up at all, am I? But I really enjoy this angle here. Big stone, you have a lot of overpowered positions. And moving and shooting, alright. Do you think you adjusted to them? Yeah, as I said, watching OT is just more cobblestone, and I think we went through a lot. I play better spots on CT. That's because you're more used to it, I think. But I feel like you need to gather information and then get used to doing decisions from the information that you gather. I think that's what's important here. So moving and shooting, right? So I remember you walking out in this angle, but I check it like ish like this, right? Because if I walk, I have to let go of shift or move another, like it's awkward. At least for me it's awkward to let go of shift and change angles and stuff. So for me, if someone's here, I can just keep moving or hide immediately because I'm already thinking about pressing D to hide. Right? So I can control the fight by using this wall here. So when you walk up, and then I think there's a what's a smoke here or something, right? And you have teammates. All you can do is just like, it doesn't matter if you're fully accurate. All it is that your important part is that you're moving so he can't shoot you. Right? And not just sit down and spray. Because it's not about being accurate, it's about being as effective as possible. Most of the time when I strafe, back and forth, I press shift between steps. What? Why? Like, shift? 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 Don't do that. No, no, no. No, 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 no. Then you slow down. The point of this is that you want to be fast. But you're still quiet, right? You don't want to mix shift in there. In my opinion. That's walking too much in angles. I think that's it. Do you have any questions? And this is where JKS, was it JKS your name was, brother man? This is where your questions could come in. It helps me keep where I am in my head. I think it's gone. Yeah. Yeah. Ja, jeg skal sende mail eller noe sånt, om jeg skal se hva den sier. Ja. Well, do you have any questions, Branson? Or is it all good? What do you think of the demo review? What do you... It's been very helpful. I knew I was doing well in the game frag-wise, but I don't think the impact was there. Your CT side on A was a mess, but as I said, that comes down to experience, right? It's all depending on experience. And if it's not there, it's just not there. You just, that's it. All you gotta do is just do it more and watch more players play it. T side is all about gathering information and do a calculated calculated action from that. It was mainly just me fucking about, and your round by round helped me think of the game in a light I don't usually. Yeah, a lot of people struggle with thinking in the game and gathering information and actually doing a strat or doing an action from that information. So people just do things to do it, and it's basically just all down to luck and instinct. Well, if it was easy, everyone would be good, right? Oof. If it was easy, anyone can do it. So, it's hard for everyone. It's just, you just have to get yourself some good habits. That's what I got. I trust in my habits. Right? So I have a habit of when this happens, I do that. When that happens, I do that. So when I get into a situation, I know how I got into that situation. You've gotten good at reacting, which doesn't work at high levels. Yeah, exactly. But for instance, when if I'm a terrorist and I clear B, and when I'm here, I know that the closest CT can be here. I know that pizza is most likely clear. I know that if I just throw a smoke here, the chance of me, and I can check this, the chance of me getting peeked by this is so low because I know that the chance of someone walking up on me is so damn low, I don't really need to think about it. Because my habits are so good with, when I've gotten here, which is a very risky push, that means I've gotten some information that makes me think this is the right play to do. And for me to think that this is the right play, some things has to be in order. If that makes sense. So I already know by thinking that this decision is the right one, some things have already happened on the map that made me think that. Right? Maybe I already have smoked this. Right? So I know that this is clear. Maybe I already mollied stone. Right? Like, it's just an example, right? When I get to a certain part of the map, I know that most likely there's a set of events that had to happen for me to be there. I don't know if that makes sense for you, but that's how I play. But yeah, that's a 2-hour review right there. Holy crap. I hope you got your subs worth, and I will always be here to answer questions. And if I feel like it, I will not if I feel like it. If I feel like you need another review, I will do it. But I will guarantee to do 1 review a month for now, at least, as long as I have a few subs. I'm occasionally feeling like I'm only occasionally feel like 100% know what's happening and what's going to happen. Yeah, that is because of inconsistency in how you play, right? If you play in a consistent way, you always run as fast to where you're going. You always have a plan to what to do. You always go where you should be to gather as much information as possible, and you always try and gather as much information that you can. You will get more and more consistency in, and things that happen will feel less and less random. So you will have it will be sort of, you will make yourself a map in your head that if this happens, the chance of this happening is so much lower, because it rarely happens. When 4 people pushes A, when 4 people pushes A long, the chance of someone pushing A doors is 70-30, because usually they send 1B just for information, or 30% to send 4 people long and 1 doors, right? You will have these things that you just react to them. Alright, 4 long, that means door is clear, so I can just rush a door and rush up to A. And 70%-ish, well, most of the time that works, right? For instance, it's an example. I'm not sure if that's how it is. These things is almost like an instinct for me now. I don't really think much about it. I just do it because I have good good habits, or I feel like I have, at least. So you will get like these sound cues that will trigger your decision in your mind. But what you need to do is you need to get some consistency in your play. You need to play the same round the same way all the time, so you can remember what you've done. Also, inconsistent enemy skill, because I can't predict the actions of people who skill very wildly. Just expect them to be better than you. That's how Shroud plays. Have you ever seen Shroud play for instance, like PUBG? Have you seen Shroud play that? He plays it like every player is as good as he is. That's why he barely dies, right? So it's all about doing the smart thing compared to the stupid thing, right? Play like the enemy has wallhack and aimbot, right? He can't kill you if you're not on his screen. If you overpeak, you're gonna die, right? Don't look at what's happening. Look at what should happen, right? So if you like when you jumped with the pistol round at CT and you jumped into those 2, you should have died. That's the wrong play. You should have died. Don't think too much about the enemy skill. Don't think too much about the stats and the kills you get. Think about doing the right thing. Yes, you can die doing the right thing, but that's what makes this game so cool. It's not chess. where skill on the pieces doesn't matter. It's all about tactics and all that, right? Here you can do mistakes even though you do the right play. I have so many bad habits, and the only reason why I'm not silver is I've gotten good at digging myself out of the holes I dig. Yep, exactly. And it's hard. It requires a lot of work.